You've probably seen a lot of videos like these, showing masked, anonymous agents dragging people off the streets into unmarked vans across the US. But how can ICE officers get away with doing all of this?
You need to get out. You can't even identify yourself.
And as the agency is about to become the biggest law enforcement force in the country, next to Trump and his big budget bill, is what we're seeing just the beginning. But the key thing to know is that the agency we call ICE aren't actually police. Now, you might think, because they're not police, that makes them less powerful. But under the Immigration and Nationality Act, the force actually operates with fewer constraints and less transparency than police do. For example, police officers are typically supposed to, identify themselves, tell people why they're detaining them straight away, wear official uniforms, body cameras, have their faces uncovered. ICE agents don't have to do any of that. They do eventually have to tell you that they're immigration agents after your arrest. Now, Homeland Security claims ICE officers wear masks because they'd be doxxed if they didn't, but it's still a glaring accountability issue. Another really important thing to know is that being an undocumented migrant isn't a criminal offense. It's a civil one. This means that when ICE arrests people, specifically in a public setting, like a parking lot of a Home Depot, they don't need as much evidence. They can use something called an administrative warrant, which they issue themselves to arrest you. And in some cases, they don't even need one. Now, that's only supposed to be if they have probable cause to believe you're in the US illegally and are likely to flee before they can get a warrant, but they're not supposed to use your profession, race, or appearance as the reason. If they want to arrest you in your home or another private space, ICE does need a warrant from a judge, but they can legally use these things called ruses, where they lie about who they are and why they're there in order to get you out of the house into a public space where all of a sudden they have more rights to arrest you. You're also not entitled to a government-provided lawyer, and ICE aren't legally required to immediately inform your family members of your location. But look, what's happening right now isn't just because of what ICE is allowed to do on paper. It's political pressure from Trump and his loyalists to meet their ultimate goal.
Largest deportation program in American history.
The number of people without a criminal record who've been arrested by ICE has increased 807% since before Trump's inauguration this January. And according to internal emails, which The Guardian has seen, senior immigration officials are encouraging ICE agents to turn the creative knob up to 11 to increase detentions, including by arresting people they called collaterals, undocumented people who ICE coincidentally encounter while arresting others. And critics also say that ICE's aggressive and secretive practices are pretty blatant intimidation tactics. The fear is that they could get away with a whole lot more, especially as we're seeing activists get arrested and Trump threatened to expand ICE's brief to include his political opponents and even naturalized American citizens. So with thousands of new immigration officers about to hit the streets, it appears Trump is building the architecture of a new dominant law enforcement agency that lacks the same guardrails as others. Critics say the line between what is a federal law enforcement agency and what could be his own secret police is getting harder and harder to discern.